But here we are. We're trying it again, and we got it. I think we got it down, right? We got the dings.
Think
You guys
so,
hear the
yeah.
dings?
Yeah.
Well,
Man.
we can hear it. Can they hear it?
I think so.
We
If you
will
guys
find
can
out
hear us,
afterwards.
give us some
Send
thumbs
it.
up. So,
Yeah. Oh, we got a heart. There's a heart.
That's a heart.
They love
We've got a heart. Somebody loves us.
Big old heart on there.
All
Nice.
right.
Gave me a heart on. Tell you what.
So, Nick, you've got some stuff to tell us. So, what are we talking about exactly?
I got some,
First of all, hold up. Here's Nick's theme song
Oh.
for his report. That's right.
That was.
Where's that sound coming from?
It went
Okay,
away.
I think that was, yeah.
All
All
right.
right.
Go ahead, Nick. Wait a minute. Let me try this again.
Ah, Jesus. Fuck.
That's right.
For
That
those
is,
who don't
that is beautiful.
put the
Los.
sound to the instrument, that is a kazoo, my
That's a
friend.
kazoo. Yeah, very.
A honer.
It's a whole nother kazoo.
Honer.
Honer.
Before I dive into the STDs or whatever, can I tell a personal story about my past weekend?
I would love to. I would love to hear that.
Yeah.
So,
Me too.
Friday night, I got to go to the Mohawk downtown
Yes,
here in Austin, Texas.
that's where you compete for your mustache and beard. Where that's actually where
That's where at the Mohawk,
At the
and
Mohawk.
I got to watch one of my longtime heroes, Doyle Bramhall II, perform live.
Junior, not the second.
The second.
Oh, the second.
He goes by the second,
Okay,
and
take it easy.
I've been a pretty big fan of his for about 17 years now. In fact, one of his albums kind of turned my life around at a pivotal, dark moment. So it's kind of like a saving thing. And so I finally got to meet him, and I wanted to tell him this whole story about how like your music really changed me and pulled me out of depression. It was this beautiful thing, and really,
Aw.
I just went up and was like, "Your album really changed my life." and he's like, "Okay." It's like this is a real honor.
It's a
And
real
he
honor.
shook it, and he like smiled. I was like, "Okay,
Thanks, guy.
can I get a picture?" And he's like, "Sure," and pose
Oh
for a
my
picture. Like really
God.
nice, but like I had
Starstruck.
all this stuff I wanted to say.
Sound like a dude.
For 17 fucking years, I've wanted to talk to this guy, and I finally get the chance. I'm like, sound like the fucking
No, that's okay.
the
I mean,
Office Space guy.
You're just in the moment. You're so in the
I was
moment.
just like,
Yeah.
You're so starstruck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I get it.
exactly.
I've done the same thing.
So that was
I've
that
got
was
you
my
know what,
magical
not to
moment.
derail you, but I went to the Magic Castle once and I met MPH, and I
No way.
I wanted to because he's a magician as well and he's actually I think a chairman of the board there. And I shook his hand and I said, "Hi."
That's all you could get out.
All right.
And I was like, I'm a big fan, and that's all I said, man. I could have said some more, but you
Right.
get into that moment where
I know.
you just
Yeah.
don't, you don't know what to
Dude.
say.
It's like I've had this conversation like a million times in my head, and now we're here, and all I get is, "Do you take my stapler?" And it was all, but he was nice about it and stood there and took a picture with me. So at least I got that.
Excellent, dude.
At least I got that.
Great
so
story,
anyway,
man. Great story.
So now on to the STDs.
Hold up a second.
Oh Jesus!
Nick,
Okay.
do you have a connection with a kazoo?
I don't.
Is that what I'm missing? I feel like there's something I'm missing.
No, because I cleaned up and I found this, and I thought, oh, that'd be great on the show. So is it great on the show, or is it really shitty?
I don't.
Well, wait. If that's not,
Let's
I
vote.
have one that's like this big. If that one's not, like we can
Is
make
that
do.
the Texas kazoo?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
All right.
Except
y'all know?
for tacos.
That's
I
a
don't
big
know. Why are they
kazoo.
always so small?
You need to come to my house.
Because you
and
have to
tacos.
eat more.
No.
Like the idea.
Why can't you just make it a
is
burrito and call
the
that
amount.
a Texas taco?
Because
All right,
it's
all
not
right.
a taco. It's Chipotle. If that's the case.
Ew, Chipotle.
There's a difference between a burrito and a taco.
Yeah, I know. Don't get. We talk. Get.
I've been waiting.
Get onto your report.
some research. All right. So,
All right, Nick. So wait,
Uh,
let me do the theme song again. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
fuck's sake. All right. So I prepared a report on the Tuskegee Syphilis Experiment.
Okay, Tuskegee Syphilis.
Tuskegee Syphilis, not to be confused with the Tuskegee Airmen.
Right. Yeah.
Different
This is a whole different
Tuskegeans.
Same
Or,
area though,
or
right?
Tuskegeans, as they like to be
Tuskegeans.
called. So the TSE, it was one of the most terrible and morally deplorable moments in our government's history.
It was just a disgrace.
It was an outright violation of human rights. it quite literally looked down on black men as guinea pigs. They were expendables and used as lab rats to experiment on.
That is fucked
But
up.
before I get too into it, I found a clip of a man who explains this a lot better than I ever could.
Ooh.
So let's check this gentleman's explanation out.
This wicked study was designed to document the progression of syphilis in black men. White scientists had long claimed that the disease manifested itself differently in blacks than in whites. Scientists decided to document this by finding a pool of infected black men, withholding treatment from them, and then charting the progression of symptoms and disorders as these men suffered in pain, eventually falling into insanity and dying. Now ain't that a bitch?
Now, ain't that a bitch?
Yep.
Who is this guy?
Yeah, who is that guy?
It's a narrator.
I think
An actual narrator on a video about the Tuskegee Syphilis Experiment.
That clip is so good.
I know.
We should
Yeah.
use it
We
in
should-
the soundboard.
Ain't that a bitch?
Ain't that a bitch? No, ain't that a bitch? Which is why I chose to have him explain it, because there's no way I could say something so
Well,
heartfelt.
Nick, what you should know about that is that
Now ain't that a bitch?
we actually now have it on our
already
soundboard.
Yeah.
All right,
Ain't
so
that a bitch? Now ain't that a
okay,
bitch?
all right. Don't
All right.
wear it out before we use it.
I'm so excited. We
Okay,
have a
so-
new sound.
Now, for 40 years, men were studied, lied to, infected, and kept in the dark regarding a cure. In 1997, President Bill Clinton apologized on behalf of the nation
Bill
for the
Clinton.
syphilis experiment.
I think I remember
In
that.
97?
In 97. Now,
That's
I'm
a
guessing
long
this is not
time.
the first time in his life that Bill Clinton has had to apologize for syphilis. You know what I'm saying? Oh! But to be serious.
On a serious
So-
note.
In 1932, PHS, which is the Public Health Service,
PHS.
they began working with the Tuskegee Institute, and they wanted to record the natural history of syphilis in hopes of justifying treatments for blacks. Because it was believed that it affected, as I said in the video, whites differently than blacks. So they called it the Tuskegee Study of Untreated Syphilis in the Negro Male, which gives us the super popular acronym TSUSNM. 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 So, initially this involved 600 black men. 399 already had syphilis, 201 without. So, it was conducted without giving the patients informed consent. Or they didn't give informed consent because they had no idea what the fuck they were doing. They weren't told what was going on. They had no idea. They were just, something was wrong, and they were promised free treatments, free care, free meals while they were getting treatments, and then burial insurance.
Yeah, I saw that too. And then
Burial
that was
insurance.
Really weird.
Like, that's not a red flag. So they were like, okay, whatever, you're gonna give us free treatments. Awesome. So they got these guys to sign up without telling them what the fuck was going on. So they told them they were being treated for bad blood, which I think should be an idiom. It might end up being one, but
Might be, yeah.
just a general term that was used to describe random ailments like syphilis or anemia, fatigue even.
Fatigue?
Fatigue. If you were fatigued, you had bad blood.
I mean, then according to that, at about
We've all got bad
2:30,
blood.
3 o'clock today, I had bad blood.
No shit, right?
I mean, think about it.
We
like
gotta
our
put that.
labs
We
and
gotta put
stuff,
bad
I mean,
blood
we
on
just,
that
like-
list. Where's that pen?
Yeah.
I gave it. It's right on your keyboard there, sucker. All right, so 600 men. They were impoverished sharecroppers from Macon County, is it Alabama?
Yep.
Alabama. Macon County,
Yeah.
Alabama.
Did you say that because you knew that, Lemon?
I actually did. I read it a second ago.
Like,
So it's one of
put it
the
on there.
one of the poorest counties in Alabama. So they just found impoverished, poor people to experiment on, basically.
I think they were sharecroppers.
They were sharecroppers. Weird. Where'd you get that? They got absolutely no actual treatments at all. They were told so they got nothing. Finally, the story broke in 1972, led to public outcry, which led to a panel of 9 members to review. And guess what they decided?
What?
This shit's fucked up. That's what they decided. But to
Really?
get really into it, that's just the build up. So, I've devised a timeline Because I figured that's the best way to tell the story.
It has
Start
to. You get
way
all this-
back at the fucking beginning.
Yeah, you get all this information and you have to piece it and
Right,
put it
right.
in a timeline.
So
You
now
have to.
we got the gist of what the fuck happened.
Right.
So let's break this down chronologically, and I believe we have a sound effect to take us back in time to 1895.
The Wayback Machine.
1895. Booker T. Washington, not the professional wrestler.
Booker T.
Booker T. Washington, at the Atlanta Cotton Exposition, he outlined dreams he had for black economic development. And this caught the attention of Mr. Julius Rosenwald, possibly a Jew, who was currently the president of Sears Roebuck & Co. And so, Rosenwald and Washington started working together and started the Tuskegee Educational Expansion. Maybe that means experiment.
Expansion, experiment.
It gained widespread support, and the Rosenwald funds started donating money, and it developed schools, factories, businesses, agriculture. All this, it was great. Shit was booming. Tuskegee taken off thanks to Booker T and Mr. Rosenwald, right?
Right.
So now, 1915.
1915. Let's go back in time.
1915. Booker T, not the musician. Booker T, the MGs, everybody? All right.
Going back in
Dies. He dies. I expected some sort of reaction to this.
What?
Why did
Yeah,
he die?
thank you.
You were
it was
surprised
early
by that?
1900s. Nobody lives that long.
I mean,
So he
that's
died.
what people
How
do.
old
Why?
was he?
He was, the ripe old age of like 40 or something. So he passes, but Robert Moton continues as president of Tuskegee.
Moton.
Were they cousins?
Yeah. Are they cousins?
No, what? Every black man in Alabama in the early 1900s is related? Is that what you're saying?
No, not at all.
So Washington and Moton seem like...
Well, it's like, who's going to pass on his legacy?
Oh, no, I think he just worked at the school and took over when the other president died. He was sort of the vice president of the school and took over. Not a nepotism thing at all.
I gotcha.
So he ran the school until his death in 1935, but we'll get to that. Is everything okay?
Yeah, talk.
Okay, so 1926, health becomes a concern. They see that,
Health becomes a concern in 1926.
well, health for these black folks in
oh,
this area
yes.
that
I thought you just meant health in
they're...
general.
Should have been a concern in general. But no, for the area that the Tuskegee experiment is a thing, like the money and the schools that they were building and everything, health is becoming a problem. It is inhibiting development. All right, syphilis becomes a major problem. 35% of the observed population in the reproductive age have syphilis.
35%?
35%.
Ooh.
That's
That's
a lot.
Yeah.
In this small area, right? So in 1929, they started aggressive treatment with mercury and bismuth. I think is how you say that. I don't know, bismuth.
yeah, bismuth. Yeah.
Bismuth.
Ooh, that
So-
just sounds like it would do the opposite.
And so they rubbed this on the skin, or else they get the hose again. No. But mercury directly on the skin, that's bad.
Yeah,
that's very bad.
Totally bad, dude.
Well, guess what? It didn't work. The cure rate was less
Well,
than,
you got to start somewhere.
less than 30%. The treatment took months. The side effects were toxic, even fatal, go fucking figure, that rubbing mercury directly on yourself would not work out. And also at this time, it was 1929, so the Wall Street crash happened and the Great Depression began.
Yeah.
So
Good
things
times.
not going well for
and
this.
beer was illegal. Alcohol was illegal back then. And
When it rains, it storms.
right. I mean,
life
man.
sucked back
Yeah.
then.
you've got syphilis and mercury poisoning, and you can't even have a beer.
Let me tell you something. When you lived back then, and we're saying times are tough now, right?
Times
But
is hard.
1929 sucked for everybody.
Especially the syphilis-ridden black men in Alabama.
Poor guys.
Man,
That's really unfortunate.
it's like bottom
know.
of the barrel.
I mean,
isn't it?
what do
Like,
you-
I know,
I mean,
and-
you can't
and the
really
fuck-
get much worse.
What fucked up shit hasn't even started yet.
What
Yeah.
do you do when you get syphilis?
Yeah, what happens?
I rubbed some mercury on myself.
It's not gonna work, man.
I know.
We already learned.
We get to how you deal with syphilis. I know you're very curious.
All right,
we'll get
go
to
ahead.
that. All right, so 1929, Great Depression starts, Wall Street crashed, all that. So in 1931, Wait, we got to get back to the story. We derailed a bit. We got to get back.
Oh.
Thank you. 1931, Rosenwald, possibly a Jew, he cuts support.
Possibly.
He cuts support to it. He doesn't want to be involved in this anymore. Everybody's getting syphilis. There's no more progress in the development, and obviously there's no money anywhere. It's a Great Depression, so they cut it. But there are two doctors left behind, Dr. Clark and Dr. Von Deller, and they decide to follow the men that were left untreated and show the need for this program. So like, hey, these guys never got treated for their syphilis.
So trying to continue it.
Let's follow them
Okay.
and show what happens.
Oh, no.
Because the funding got cut, so they wanted to show it and be like, look what happens when you cut funding.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I see.
This is what happens. This is what happens, Larry.
Well, because didn't the whole study start out as like, a good thing? Like they had the best of intentions to do it? Yeah.
Yes. And so this was, I mean, even kind of has the best intentions. Like they wanted these guys to deteriorate so they could say, look what happens when you cut funding. We need this research. We need to study this. We need the cure. Right? So they got the idea to follow untreated syphilis patients. So 1932, this is when it starts.
That's kind of peaceful.
Right.
It's nice.
So a follow-up effort study of 600 men.
600.
600. 399 with syphilis, 201 without. The men would be given periodic assessments. Right?
Okay.
They were told they were being treated, but they were just being assessed to see how syphilis
They were
was
just
progressing.
tracking, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
The men were simply vessels for the syphilis. So Robert Moton, remember he's the president now,
Yes.
he agrees to this, quote, if the Tuskegee Institute gets its full share of the credit, and if black professionals are involved.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, the whole debacle is named after Tuskegee, so I guess they did get their fair share of the fucking credit, just like he wanted.
Yep.
But it's so weird, like, he agreed to study untreated people and lie to them about it as long as they got credit, and he even wanted African Americans involved. So this wasn't like the whites purely.
Wait, you said he wanted African Americans involved, like on the doctor's side?
On the doctor side, yeah. He wanted black professionals involved in the
Okay.
research of it and the studying.
Now,
So
ain't that
Wow.
bitch.
Yeah, that's very appropriate.
So this
for
isn't
that.
purely just the white man studying the black man. He insisted that black men be involved
Yeah.
too.
Wow.
So then we had a Dr. Dibble.
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 I wish I made that up, but no. Dr.
I don't know if you
Dibble,
can make that up.
Dr. Dibble and Nurse Rivers. Now, Nurse Rivers is the only person who is involved for all 40 years.
Okay.
Wow.
So she's like Nurse Ratchet or whatever from the Cuckoo's Nest. Like she's the ultimate
Yeah,
bitch
she's
here.
been around.
She was assigned, or Dr. Dibble and Nurse Rivers assigned to lead this fucking study. So 1934, 2 years after they started, the first papers come out and suggest that health effects of untreated syphilis. All right, so they're starting to say this is what happens when you leave this untreated. But it was kind of fell flat. Nobody really gave a shit. 2 years after that, 1936. Now this has been going on for 4 years. They publish a major paper, and it further findings about untreated syphilis. Now this one was horribly criticized because the people reading the research paper said it's not known if these men are being treated or not. So, like,
So what?
Well,
I mean, here we are 4 years into it, and people are like, "Well, are you treating them? Are you just surely you're not like letting this go untreated, right?" Like
somebody questioned.
Mm-hmm.
they were questioning it 4 years in.
It took them a long time.
And I
to
thought
fucking
that
do
was kind of funny that they were like, "This study is bullshit because you're not actually treating them, so we don't
Now,
know."
ain't that a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a bitch. But so wait, not yet. We're still in 1936.
We're still
So
there.
they were utilizing local physicians in the study, and the local physicians brought in to use it were asked to not treat them.
They were asked not to treat
So the
them.
people that were brought in to help out, and again, these people weren't living in the Tuskegee Institute. Like they would come in for checkups and to get their
Okay.
free meal.
Outpatient.
Oh,
But,
I see.
But they
Okay.
still like live their lives, so they were out in the world still, right? I mean, they weren't
Okay.
like quarantined or whatever.
Right.
So local physicians were told not to treat them.
So did it spread while they were doing this study?
Yes.
Oh.
No.
But so they were even brought in. They were told they were following this until death.
Wow.
In
Oh, that's
1930
why they had the burial insurance.
Right. So in 1936 is like, no, we're going to see how long it takes and what happens. We're going to let this take them to the fucking grave. And we're just going to
Wow.
watch.
Really?
And, yeah.
Wow. Fucking.
So,
bullshit.
Damn,
Nine-
1932.
19 from yeah.
People were
so-
savages back then, man.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. They were viewed as
Ain't that a
expendable.
bitch?
They were lab rats. Okay, so now we're going back to 1940. The military draft picked up.
Yeah, that's right. Time
There
to go.
was, there was a war a brewing.
The Germanys.
Germanys.
The Germanys are like looking to fuck us up.
So the military draft came out, and it wanted it decreed that any STD, anything that could be cured or treated, needed to be so that we could have as many healthy young men for the draft.
Okay.
However, these lucky SOBs in the syphilis experiment were not allowed treatment. We're not allowed to be drafted. We're not allowed a part of this.
Really? It was all
How
part of their fucking
convenient.
thing?
Yeah, they were not allowed. They were shunned, and they couldn't even be drafted.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not like anybody really wants to be drafted, but like the draft for World War II was a pretty big fucking
But they weren't
deal.
getting any treatment anyways, though, right?
Right.
Exactly.
But for the draft, they would have.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's why.
So they wanted to
to-
keep following them. They didn't.
So they
okay.
didn't want them to get treated, didn't want them to be eligible for the draft because then they would lose their guinea pigs.
That's some
So
fucked up shit.
right. Whew. All right. So now on to 1945. In 1945, this was a magical moment, so the harp's really perfect. In 1945, penicillin was announced as the official treatment and cure for syphilis.
There we go. There we go.
And it
Right?
was a mold.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Somebody said, "Hey, what's this little mold here?" And then we got penicillin.
Who
Hooray!
discovered it? We don't know. Ba Ramsey?
John Benet's granddad. Okay, so penicillin. I don't know. You said Ramsey. I ran with it.
No, it's
So penicillin was proven and accepted as the treatment for syphilis.
Yep.
The men involved in the study were not informed about penicillin, nor were they even informed that they had syphilis. They still don't know that they have syphilis.
Wow. So they didn't know that there was a cure for the disease.
they
that
didn't even know
that
they
they
had.
had.
They think they still got bad blood.
They have bad
They got the
Wow.
bad blood.
They got some bad blood.
Exactly.
Which
Yeah.
is probably where this idiom comes from. I don't know
About
if you-
bad blood?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Which
when
I
you
will
say to
use-
someone, "Oh man, there's some bad blood between those two."
Now, does this
means
translate
some
to the
syphilitic
Seal
shit.
song or anything? Is that related somehow?
Are you talking about the bad blood?
Or that one too?
Oh.
Bad blood. You got bad blood.
I think that's how it goes.
Just let them keep going.
You just keep on digging that hole, buddy. All right. Can we get back to the timeline?
That's right. All right,
Back-
let's go back to the timeline.
timeline.
Here we go.
1947, 2 years after the cure comes out, the Public Health Service, PHS, we'll just say PHS from here on out. The PHS, FIS, no? All right. They created rapid treatment centers for syphilis because it was such a problem. So they even set up centers to rapidly cure syphilis.
Okay.
These men still not treated.
Those.
Wait, what?
So now, as I said, these guys lived
Now-
out in the world. So
Wait,
like,
okay, yeah. So they lived out in the world. They couldn't like wear a disguise and go
they
to a
didn't
different
know.
doctor?
They didn't. First off, they didn't know they had syphilis. So if they
Oh.
read like something in the newspaper, they wouldn't know that they
Wouldn't
had
even be
it
alarmed
and needed
'cause
to
they
go.
think- yeah.
Hold up
But
a second.
secondly,
Hold up a
more
second. What is syphilis for the first? I've never had syphilis. I don't even know what it is. What is it? Did we go over that?
It's an STD.
Yeah, no shit. But
What are the side effects?
what are the symptoms?
Yeah,
of
let's
it?
put that out there.
The side effects of syphilis. Well,
Do you know this off the top of your head? Have you had syphilis before?
I have not had syphilis.
Neither have I.
I have
Neither
not.
have
hung
I.
out- I have not dealt with syph.
I haven't either.
But-
Okay,
Have you?
so
I haven't.
have
it-
you? I haven't.
It
Have
does.
you?
It does.
Have you?
It
Why
does,
is everybody looking at me?
It does lead to insanity
That's
and
okay.
death.
Wait,
Well,
what?
Yeah, I haven't been
Insanity?
able to figure that out. How does the STD lead to insanity?
Because it drives you insane.
Does it like
it gets
transform
into,
into your brain?
It gets
Man, that's something intense.
Hold up, Capone died of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot. I mean, Columbus brought it, or I think Columbus caught it when he came to the New World and took it back.
What a
Like he
fucking
brought
dick.
smallpox,
What a
but we
dick
gave him
move,
syphilis. Ha ha ha.
Take that,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
But there's even a term called syphilidiot, which if your syphilis goes unchecked for so long, it does get into your brain and it fucks with your brain.
Wow.
Oh.
And there was a term for syphilidiot. And like a lot of ancient royalty got like they didn't know about it,
Syphilidiot?
and so you get syphilis, and you would randomly go insane and die over time.
Syphilitic.
Syphilidiot.
Damn.
Yeah.
Syphilitic.
So I mean, it's not like
That doesn't
it's
have
not
the
like
same
herpes where you get
rhyme
open
to it.
sores. Maybe you do. Maybe there's some leakage or something nasty going on. But I mean, it's not like the blue waffle or anything super gross.
Oh.
Yeah, you're welcome. I mean, you wanted to get in, so let's get it. It does get into your blood and it gets into your brain and it drives you, turns you into syphilidiot, and then you die.
Syphilitic.
Which I guess technically we would not have known without the TSE. So
Yeah, but that's one of those things, man.
Right?
It's like,
right,
yeah, we
like
got
where's
knowledge out of it.
Where's
but was
the moral
it worth
line?
It? Yeah,
like, what
exactly.
about the Nazi experiments where they were cutting people open and stuff? We did get a lot of medical knowledge out of that,
Right.
But at what fucking cost?
Yeah, exactly.
Like that doesn't
That's-
mean it's totally okay to kidnap and maim
Yeah.
these people.
Well, now like they have guidelines, right, for
Yeah.
doing tests and stuff.
That's why you can donate your body to science, but you get
hold
to
up a
choose to do
second.
that.
Well, didn't like
Hold up a second. You guys bring up a good point. Like, there's like a comedian out. I can't remember top of my head, but they say something like that, where it's you're saving. You know, you're doing all these tests and doing some good, but you're also killing some fucking people. You know?
Right.
yeah.
You know.
So
where's the line exactly?
where's the
cost?
moral line?
And
I would say blatantly lying and hiding information from people
Oh,
to
yeah,
watch them slowly
definitely.
die while
Yeah.
you sit there and go, That's across the line.
hold up.
Yeah.
Don't use that Yoda voice. He's very wise. He would never do that to people. For one,
How do you think he got so wise?
make them die of syphilis. I would.
Oh, that's horrible, guys. But
All right. What else
Yeah,
you got?
you
bud?
thought it was metachlorians. No.
syphilis.
The syphilis. You got the syph. The syph you have. All right, where the fuck was I? Let's go back to the timeline. Okay, so they had the rapid treatment centers. Oh yeah. So the guys, if they read about this treatment for syphilis, they didn't know they had it, so they would know that they needed to go get it. But even then, they picked intentionally poor, impoverished people. Like, I don't know that these men had a lot of newspapers, and I don't know how many of them could read it.
yeah, that's what I was just
You know,
gonna say.
so,
You
like-
mentioned like reading. Like I don't know that a lot of
they
the
would-
African American population could read back then.
And I think they intentionally found the ones that really couldn't. Like, they
Right.
found the poorest, most helpless.
People that had no access to
Right, so they
communication
wouldn't
in that
learn
way.
about this.
So
and
is that
fuck
is
up the
that why
experiment.
they targeted Macon
Oh,
County?
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. For sure, that's why they picked it. So these men were overall syphilis is declining. Like they're taking care of the syphilis problem, except for these 600 men.
Yeah.
And at this same time, they started rotating black medical students through. So it's like now become part of your. Was it at like between school like residency?
I
Right.
guess. Yeah. Yeah.
So 127 total black medical students.
127.
127 rotated through to be a part of this, and it's like part of their residency, like part of their education.
And none of them like stopped to think like, hey, what this
Nope.
is wrong.
No, they didn't.
Wow.
Like
Yeah,
maybe they didn't know
May-
that.
yeah, maybe they
they
didn't
know
know.
that the men were unwillingly involved.
Exactly.
I mean, they would have to, right? I would imagine.
Because I feel that at least one out of
Yeah.
127 would have gone. Wait,
This
they
isn't
don't know.
right.
No, they were told something different.
This ain't fucking cool.
Yeah.
Going back in time.
I was gonna do the now ain't that a bitch, but yes, let's go back in time.
That
That
works too.
bitch.
Okay. So 1968, a reporter named Peter
Ain't
Bucks.
that a bitch?
Better late than never.
So we're jumping from 1947 to 1968. That's how long it took for anything to fucking happen here.
47 to 68.
47 to 68.
Wow.
So penicillin was a thing in 45, 47 treatment centers open. All of a sudden 68. So that's 20 years of nothing.
Wow.
Like this is just going, right? So 68, a reporter, Peter Buxton, is the one that really started raising questions about it, and some others started getting on board. And like, It wasn't big enough for major news, but it was catching wind. 1969, dude. The CDC, the motherfucking CDC
in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, no.
reaffirms the need for the study.
Really? Okay,
Okay,
good.
okay,
Good.
okay.
That sounds good.
Perfect.
No.
No?
Sounds just about right.
Reporters are like, "Hey, this is fucked up." The CDC reaffirms the need for it.
Yeah.
They're coming out saying, "No, we need this study. This needs to be happening."
Like as is, no changes to
yeah,
it, just continue it.
They reaffirm it.
They want to see what happens.
So
They
then the
wanna-
AMA and the NMA, which are American Medical Association, and National.
Anime. Like the
NMA.
the cartoons?
anime.
No, not anime. NMA. So we got.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the mixed martial arts fighting.
Oh, not MMA. N is in Nancy. So we've got AMA and NMA, right? We got the American Medical Association and the National. Just like the baseball leagues, we got the American and the National.
Okay, all right.
Right?
Sure.
In fact, that's where MLB got this. They were like, "Oh, the medical association. That's
based
where
it
we'll
off
get the
of them?
names for our leagues." Yeah,
Fucking right.
Oh,
for
perfect.
sure.
No,
that's,
but they saw.
That's
National,
not true.
they're
Don't
like-
check me on that.
Because in the AMA, the
Okay.
pitchers. No,
Yeah.
Right, they don't have to bat.
Yeah, I think.
Or is it the NMA where they don't
I
have
mean,
to
it's a
bat?
50% chance.
Right.
Like you're
But
saying one.
American League doesn't have to.
The pitchers don't have to bat?
Pitchers don't have to bat.
All right. Okay, cool.
Is
So
that the only
anyway,
difference? Is that
Kinda.
the only difference?
that's the big one.
That's
It
like
is
the big
the
one.
big
Oh,
difference.
okay.
Yeah.
I was like, wait.
All right, so this is
Crazy, right?
1969. This is like hippie times, right?
That's right.
So this is when the Center for Disease Control and both the American and National Medical Associations all speak out very strongly in support of this study because these reporters are bringing it up and it's starting to catch wind. So they come out and squash that and say that we need to have this. So this isn't this is I feel really early onset of not necessarily mainstream media, but definitely the government like no, we need this. This is totally something we
Right.
need. Like, I mean, they've been lying the whole time, but this is mad. They were now lying on a national level
Just outright, yeah.
to all the rest of
They
us.
have to band together.
Holy fuck.
The
Right?
idea
Like-
is you got to
Holy
figure
fuck,
out.
boys.
Oh my God, these
balance.
people are bringing this to national attention.
Yeah.
No, we totally. And this is like the first like big pharma coming in and saying we got it or whatever. Like this is the right sheep for sure. Like this is I feel, and maybe there was an earlier usage of this, but I was like, holy fuck, man, this has been going on for a while. Like they're coming out very strongly for this and lying to everybody to spread their blanket. Like shh, no, we need this. So
All
now
is good. All is
so now we get to 1972. This has been going on for 40 years now. 40. This was started as a 6-month study, by the way.
Are those guys still alive?
Oh, we'll get. I have stats on that.
Oh, here we go.
But
It
this
is
was
research.
this was supposed to be a 6-month study. So here we are, 40 years later. On July 25th of 1972, the Washington Star puts out an article on it. And that gets enough attention that on the next day, on July 26th, the New York Times puts out an article on it.
Ah, there we go.
And now the study ends on November 16th, 1972. They finally put an end to the study. So then the next year in 73, Congress holds hearings and they file class action lawsuits on behalf of the participants.
About time.
Okay.
Fucking shit.
Right? So now they're suing the people that have been putting this on behalf of the people involved. In 74, this cracks me. There's an out-of-court settlement for $10 million.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That sounds
Bill
nice.
O'Reilly pays more than that for one harassment charge. One. This was 600 fucking men. $10 million.
And back in what you said,
And
74?
74.
Yeah.
That's like
Which I know that's a while
100,000.
ago, but still $10 million for 600 people.
That's still a lot.
I guess it's a lot more than any of them would have ever
Well,
got.
considering,
being
like, where they came
sharecroppers.
from, yeah,
But
exactly.
that's them like knowing that and like
It's still not going to cover
that's
that
still
pain,
shitty.
knowing that you were lied
that's still
to.
fucked.
Yeah.
So then the government promised. Okay, so now we'll actually promise you medical benefits and treatment for real this time.
Okay.
For realsies.
And
Yes, somebody hold them to it.
and burial services for the living. The Tuskegee Health.
So they just rolled that part over.
Right. So the Tuskegee Health Benefit Program, the THBP, was started to ensure that these were provided. Now, I don't know why it's essentially the same promises, and there's still Tuskegee in the name. I feel that would make all these poor guys like, fuck you.
Yeah, just
I ain't being a part of that. And maybe they were banking on that. Maybe they were banking on the guy saying, "Oh my God, no, I don't want to be a part of this shit." So that was in 74. In 75, they decided that they would add the wives and the widows and offspring to the health benefits
Good call.
because they've been living with it for 40 years. So they're obviously affected as well.
So they know what they have now.
In 1995.
Hold up. That's
Thank
right.
you. In 95, the program was expanded to include health as well as just medical.
just overall health.
Overall health as well as just medical. And May 16th of 1997 is when old pimp Bill Clinton
That's my boy.
said sorry on behalf of the nation. And I mean, that was it. There wasn't anything.
So he apologized
He just-
in '97,
in 97.
and it ended in, you said
72.
Why so long for a public apology?
No idea.
I mean, how many presidents is that?
Right. And,
Wow.
and I mean, he went out on a Paul, which is great, but like, you just said you're sorry. I mean, that doesn't do shit.
Yeah, and it's
You didn't do anything.
20 years after the fact.
I think it
20
just
years after the 40 years.
I think it just became that big of a deal.
Yeah,
you
know,
know,
that
people
many
started
people
coming
started
around
finding
to it.
out about
Or
it.
maybe he was the
Yeah.
first president to go, I don't apologize for syphilis. Stand
He's
back.
like,
All right. Hey, dad a bitch. In 2004, the last participant died on January 16th. 2009, the last widow died. January 27, 2009, the last widow of a participant died. So by the time this was all over, 28 men died directly from syphilis.
Wow.
100 more died due to complications because of syphilis.
What the fuck?
40 of their wives got infected,
Okay.
and 19 children were born with congenital syphilis.
Oh,
Wow.
So
Is it
that's
something that
how
can
it
be
starts.
transferred that way too?
It can be
So it
transmitted.
was-
So
yeah.
if the
Think
parents
about it.
have it,
Mm-hmm.
you're born with, like, children are born with AIDS. Children,
Wow.
like, if you have it, you can pass it on,
Wait a
and
minute,
your child's
so-
born with it.
so-
Children aren't born with AIDS.
Yeah, if your parent, like, if
What?
you have AIDS,
Mhm.
children can be born with AIDS.
Oh, cause I always thought Jenny from Forrest Gump had AIDS and she.
Well, she definitely had AIDS. She was not born with it. She got it.
She got it after she had Forrest, the Forrest Jr.
We don't know.
Mm.
We just don't know.
There was supposed to be a sequel, and it was never made, so we don't
Well,
know
wait
what
a
happened
minute.
before
So
she did.
we gotta assume then, because of what you're saying, that we all know she died of AIDS, right? Is
Yes. It's not 100%. It's not
I
because
actually
you
know
I mean,
that
that's
she
what
died
they were
from-
throwing out.
No, no,
That's
no.
the hints.
Okay, so they made a sequel. I'm sorry to diverge from the topic here, but they made a sequel called Gump and Company. It's written by
yeah,
the same
a second
person,
book,
right?
right? A sequel
And-
book, not movie.
A book. And it concludes that Jenny died of hepatitis.
Ah.
Because
So does that mean that Forrest Jr. has the hep?
well, I don't think that one's transferable in that fashion.
Somebody just put up Women Weak in Legs. I just saw it. I don't know what the name was, but I don't even know why he put up a Rocky reference, but fuck yes for whoever put that up there. Rocky's
All right.
my favorite thing
I
ever.
heard
So
something- Let's go back in
Hold
time.
no, that was the end of the report, man. Like
That's it.
there's no happy ending to this.
So really, it's very interesting because they did this study to see what happens whenever you get it
Right,
and
and-
what the side effects are. But ultimately, it ended up spreading.
Yes.
Then
Well,
what
that
happens
would be what happens when you
Because
don't
they
treat an
should've
STD.
Yeah.
What should they have done to?
They should have
contained them.
contained them or treated whatever way they knew at the moment.
They didn't let them get treated.
They did not let them
Yeah.
get treated. In fact, they said blatantly, "We want to sit back and watch what happens
Yeah.
and follow them until death."
Poor shit.
They just didn't look.
Did anything-
two steps
Hold up,
ahead.
Lemon. What's your bottom line on this?
Me?
Yeah. What do you think about the whole Tuskegee syphilis experiment?
I think it's ridiculous. Okay, so ultimately, I mean, back then, there was no way for them to know any better, quite honestly, because
Absolutely.
they didn't know that. Exactly. You know, they didn't know that that type of, testing could be that hazardous to the overall population, because at that time they're like, oh, well, we'll just, test these guys, see what happens, and then go from there.
Fucking right.
But the biggest problem is that they didn't contain them. They didn't let them know what was going on. They didn't willingly
Right. That's the
opt
biggest thing.
to
They
do
didn't.
that. So therefore, they didn't protect themselves. They continued to do what they were going to do regardless. They continued to
Right.
to reproduce with their person, and from then and from there. It's like if
And maybe-
if information is held from, your willingness to comply, then it's like you don't make the most responsible decision because you don't know.
Like they thought they had bad blood and they were getting treated.
They thought, yeah.
They were going in there. They were getting spinal taps to them and everything.
But bad blood could mean so
was a
many
vague
different
term.
categories.
Yeah.
Back then, that's all they had to say.
There was a movie starring Lawrence Fishburne about this exact thing.
My man.
And there was a scene where this guy's sitting there all sickly, and like his family and his wife's around him, and they're like putting wet cloths on his head and tending to him, and Lawrence Fishburne standing there in his army uniform, all pressed to the nines and all good. It's like, you need to go get that penicillin shot's what you need. And they're like, no, he's getting the best treatment. And he's like, no, they're lying to you. You need to. I mean, it was pretty blatant. Just like, how the fuck does Lawrence Fishburne know that this whole conspiracy is going on?
So you
anyway.
get that through sexual intercourse?
Yes, you get. That's how sexually transmitted diseases work. Yeah, you get it through sexual intercourse.
Well, I didn't.
Good question. That's a good question. Well, thanks for that.
I just was dumbfounded. Like, dude.
If you have syphilis and you have unprotected sex with someone, then it's very likely that now they have syphilis.
But they didn't even realize that at the time.
No, they had no idea that they had syphilis.
They didn't even know that it could be spread.
Have you ever
sex.
been sexual? Have you ever been tested before?
Yes, many times.
Many times? What are you, a porn star?
No,
You
but if
Once a week?
No.
You have to though.
Right. I mean,
Lemon, have you been tested?
Have I been tested? Of course.
Brennan,
Why- if you-
I
if-
have.
if
That
you
was
were
so.
Holy fuck!
Have
I've
you
never
not?
You've been tested?
I've never been tested before.
oh,
That's
Are you
not
guys
cool,
scared
man.
or
you
something?
must
not
have
cool.
bad blood.
Plus your anemia and fatigue, bro.
Yeah, you
If
get
it's not one of those,
tired
if it's not one of those two,
When
then
you-
you got the syph.
When you're having troubles with music.
There are so
Sorry.
many things.
Wait a minute, but
No, if you're
That
sexually
don't-
active, if you're with
I'm
other
not really that. I am.
like if
I'm
okay,
not
well, I mean,
that.
if you're with the same person and you
But the
both know
thing-
you're good, then you're good. But
Right.
if
But
you're
you-
hooking up casually or randomly,
Okay.
then you need to be getting
But
tested.
you would
Okay,
have to be
you-
with that person only, and that person would have to be telling you the truth, telling you
Okay,
they were
you're right.
only
You're right.
with you.
But here's my canary in a cave mine. Okay, coal mine.
That's not
Canary in a coal mine.
that's not a thing.
Wait,
Yes,
wait,
it is.
Is that an
is
idiom?
the thing. No,
A
Okay,
canary in
what's
a
the
coal
canary
mine?
in a coal
Yeah, you never
mine?
heard that?
That's totally a thing.
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
That's
get
how
that.
you would stay alive in a cave.
Okay.
If you look down and see that your canary is dead,
There's
you
gas.
need to get the
Oh,
out.
Right?
I thought
Okay.
you meant like being
And
there's a canary.
Well, that won't be on the game
Here's my
now.
canary. Okay, it's not an idiom.
I
anyways.
thought it was like you were the canary.
No,
And I was like, well,
the
fuck,
canary.
No, he's
that's
a
not
coal
a good
mine.
idea.
I'm the coal
Oh.
mine. No. Okay, so
All right.
I was dating a girl who's now a porn star. And
Oh.
Now a
she gets
porn
regularly
Oh, wait, I
tested.
feel like I remember
Yeah.
this person.
So that means I'm good. Because those
Have you
people are
talked to
Have you
tested
her?
slept with anybody since her?
a couple times, yeah.
yeah.
Well, then you're not.
Yeah.
But
Well,
did
that's
you,
all I
like-
have to worry about. Like a couple of people, that's it.
But you never fucking know, dude.
And especially with guys, the majority of STDs can be dormant in guys. We can be
That's
carrying
what's
them.
so fucking annoying.
We can carry them and
Yeah,
pass
sorry.
them on and not know that we even
Without
have them.
side
Right,
effects.
right.
That's the craziest
And that's
part.
why these guys,
Suckers.
399 of these men had syphilis. You would think there'd be some kind of thing like, man, something wrong with my dick. This ain't right.
no idea.
But they didn't know.
I might
But-
have syphilis right now, boys and girls.
You might. It is possible
Yeah.
for men to
Oh, I do
have
feel insane.
STDs and not know. Like you can
I
be
mean-
especially HPV is a big one.
Oh yeah.
Because men will have it and not know at all, but it will
And that's what sucks.
give women cancer. And we're just
Yeah.
like out there passing it
That's
around
very
like candy in a parade.
Yeah.
Little HPV
cancer.
for you, little HPV for you, yeah.
All I got is 4
And then
words for that one right there.
It just goes from there. It just fucking sucks, man. You
No.
gotta get
Alright.
tested. That's the
So-
only way you can protect
So this
everyone.
is horrible because, I mean, you can't do any experiment on any group of people and not let them know. Like, I get you want to see what happens, but man, you can't
No,
lie.
coming.
it's not
You can't
ethical.
lie to them
Come
for 40
on.
years
No.
and be like, you're getting treatment right now while you're giving a spinal tap just to see how your syphilis doing.
Mhm. Did any of were any of the doctors like held responsible for?
No,
They,
no. They gave out a $10 million settlement and said sorry, and then did the
exception of this money.
they did the payout and then
liability.
the benefits kind of insurance thing, and that was it. There was like no real repercussions. Nobody got in any trouble. Because it was
This is
the government was way behind. What are they gonna?
But there's gotta be somebody who like
Someone needs to take a fall, but
been like, dude,
So-
my
so
mom,
Nurse fucking-
my mom,
Nurse
was
Ratchet.
the
Nurse
girl.
Ratchet.
Serious.
But yeah, no, nobody actually got into any trouble.
Fucking bullshit.
That's
All right, Brandon.
So-
Bottom line. What's your bottom line about this? You got any opinion about this?
Man, I think it's just horribly wrong. Like,
We
I
can
mean,
all
we
agree
look
on
at
that.
it, yeah, it was
Yeah.
all wrong. But, I mean, I hate to say it, but some good information did come of it, but it was very unfortunate in the way that it
right, and
came about.
We
But
could have
also,
got that in a better way.
but also
we
in the,
could have
like,
gotten that a better way.
the changes that happened afterwards, because after that now, don't they, like, isn't informed consent, like, mandatory
Yes.
for any sort of study?
Absolutely.
That's
So,
right.
I mean, we got that from it, so it's...
We got a lot
It's
from
real
that, though.
touchy.
There
It
was
shouldn't
a
have
lot.
happened in the first place.
There were
Someone
a
just put
lot
up. They did the
of-
same thing with AIDS in the 80s.
Yeah.
Can you see that when
Yeah,
it pops
can.
up?
That was Ryan O'Donoghue.
Oh,
Donahue.
Ryan.
We know that guy.
Yeah, he's my boy. He's a roaster and he's a specialty roaster.
Okay.
Yeah, what up,
Okay,
Ryan?
gotcha.
Yeah, you know the whole AIDS thing
Just
is
came
very
back from
Seattle.
interesting. How
Love
that
that.
whole started.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's
Right.
that's something.
Well,
else.
you know, there's a theory that came from Plum Island. It was man-made and released.
Plum
Yeah,
Island.
yeah.
Yes, we were going to talk about that.
We were, but I was going to talk about the moving of it. That is kind of lame. So,
yeah, that's deserving of that.
but I thought
Nick,
that this was cool.
Hold up, I got to do a bottom line, and
Oh.
then you're going to do your bottom
Okay.
line, and then we're going to get my bottom
Then we're
line
moving on.
is that.
Ain't that?
Are we surprised that the government is pulling bullshit again? And like in the future, are we going to be surprised that we're going to see more stuff? This is just an example of what the government does. They
Right,
will pull these,
yeah.
They will pull these government experiments or research or whatever you want to call them, and they're just going to do what they want under their
Absolutely.
pretexts. They have their own laws, and it's under some. They release some information to the public because they go, this is what we're doing. We're doing the good stuff, and that's how they make you think, oh, the government's okay. But then they're doing MK Ultra or they're doing fucking Tuskegee on you, you know,
Yeah.
giving you fucking syphilis and then not treating that shit, and then you die from insanity like Al Capone, who might
Right,
have been
like
a fucking
Syphil idiot.
a syphil fucking idiot. So speaking, well, you got a
All right. So
you
yeah.
got a bottom line. I was gonna
I-
say speaking of which, but go ahead.
I mean, same what Gall said. This is pretty fucked up. This is awful. This is a horrible thing. And this isn't a secret. This isn't something that conspiracy theorists talk about or something that the government's even trying to hide. Like, this is known. This is out in the open.
Well,
So
conspiracy
this is-
theorists, they use this as evidence to like,
Right.
like, this is how government
This
fucks
is
with
absolute proof that since the 30s, the government has been doing shit and lying to us.
At least,
At least, yeah.
Right. But
We can go
and there
further
might
way
be evidence.
way
There-
beyond that.
There could be, but
Absolutely.
this is just the topic I picked, and I was like, fuck, for that long. I mean, this is a very blatant thing. And then when it all came out into the open, they didn't deny it. They just said, sorry. And that was it. That was the fucking end of it.
That's what happens every
Wow.
time. I mean, that's what happens every
So,
time.
like, if you think, like, why do we need the BLM movement? Why do black people feel why the fuck do you think they feel like the
Yeah,
government
look at what's
thing on?
happened.
They absolutely singled them out.
Mm-hmm.
They lied. The CDC was fucking behind this. Like, major organizations, American Medical Association was behind it. Like, this is blatant government lying.
I mean, from the
Fucking
very
people
top
over.
all the way down.
And
you deserve applause for that, man.
so there we
I
go.
gotta say, you deserve applause for that, Nick. Thank you for the presentation. It was informative, and for those who
And
didn't know about
infuriating.
it, it's infuriating for
Of
those who know
course,
about it
yeah.
even more. It's infuriating for us who don't know about it and learn about it.
Mhm.
I mean, this is why we have Black Lives Matter right here. Bottom line.
One of many, like, this is, yeah.
All lives
So
matter.
this is, and it goes back to, well, all lives do matter, but Black lives right now, like we gotta acknowledge their struggle, and we
Well,
do.
There's been an obvious like singling out
There has been an
over,
obvious
over the decades.
I mean,
Of
I
course.
would
Not
say
right.
I used to say that
Of
all lives
course.
matters, but when you learn about things like the Tuskegee experiment, man, it really does say like something because it goes that far fucking back, which
Right.
it was a little bit more prejudice back then. But
It was.
but
Like
that
Jim Crow
shows
laws hadn't been
it
a thing. Civil
a
rights
little bit.
Civil rights hadn't happened
very
yet.
much of
Very
it.
much so.
Very much so.
It was literally
Like-
what led.
They were like, "Hey,
Everyone.
here's a bunch of poor black people. Let's study or let's experiment on them."
People who just aren't in the know. People
Fucking
who
right.
don't realize what's going on. People who aren't given that opportunity.
They
to
were
know.
Goddamn
no
right.
longer people. They were things to study.
Yeah, they weren't even like viewed
They
as
were
like
rats.
test
They were
subjects. They were
rats.
just cadavers,
It's
living
rats.
cadavers.
So there we go.
I'm
That's
glad to live in a time
Damn.
our
where
uplifting story of the day.
Yeah.
I'm glad to live in a time where
It's time for that.
I grew up not having any sort of prejudice against black people, and they are my brother, they are my sister, and you know, to hear that kind of talk where they're singled out, I didn't believe at first, but you do look and back in the history, and we see this with the Tuskegee Experiment, and that's something that's declassified. There's a lot that's not
Exactly.
classified, and those are the things that we need to be worried about, and who knows? I mean, that's why Black Lives Matter, but I digress.
But I digest.
Should we play a...
Let's play a game.
Yeah, we need to lighten the
Let's,
mood a little
Yeah,
bit.
turn
I
it
think
around.
it's time, you guys. It is time for a jam-packed game of Idiot or Idiom! Yeah! We're gonna
Remember?
cut, you guys.
Okay.
Off air. Off air.
You have a snack. That sounds great.
You want something to snack on?
Snack. Ooh.
It's still streaming.
A big old thing of peanuts.
If I cut the stream, or do you want me to just
No,
leave the
put
stream?
remember the off air
Yeah,
thing we
okay,
did?
that's making sure.
You got peanuts?
Yeah.
Peanuts.
I've got Bellas. These are like my favorite oranges in the world. Oranges? These are the best little Bellas. They're so easy to peel. You can peel them off in one peel.
Yeah, no, I love doing that.
They're not cuties. Don't confuse them with cuties.
I would
okay?
never.
They're Bellas. I live for being such a good guy during the stream.
Okay.
I wanted to see you.
Either of these plugs anymore.
Good show, bro. Good show.
How was that? Was that an alright report?
I think it was great.
No.
I tried multiple times. I had to rewrite it, and I was like,
That's
"Oh my god, I'm freaking out!"
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, dude.
That's
I mean,
shit.
that shows that bullshit happening, dude, in the world.
Well, I mean, it doesn't. I mean, it really doesn't surprise me.
Right. It's no surprise that they
It's just like thank you for coming up with another reason
For us to fucking.
for us to fucking hate the government. Not everyone. Just that whole period. Think about how many people were like guilt tripped into that. Think about that. I guarantee there are so many people today that that are like, can you believe that my grandpa knew about that? You know what I mean? Like people that are affiliated with it that just feel so like
Right. Like there
fucking
were
salt.
students that went through and were a part of it.
Exactly.
There were the local physicians in town that were told to shut up and not do anything about it.
They were.
I mean, the physician's one thing. Like you had to break your oath and not say something, but well, I mean, I know that was
Yeah, doesn't the Hippocratical Oath come into
say
play?
something
there?
about like, hey, you're doing something fucked up. Like, I'm supposed to say something, but the students that went through and like this is part of my like I was a part of it. I actually
Well, like
I was
maybe she said like
involved.
maybe they just didn't know, like they
Exactly.
were
Weren't
bringing them
aware
through
that
the
these
hospital.
men were
Yeah, they
unaware,
weren't
like,
yeah,
That's
they just
man, where did you find all these guys
they
willing to
weren't-
let syphilis run rampant in their
weren't-
bodies?
yeah, I mean.
Because this was
Yes.
after the cure
And
was
to think
found.
about it, like put yourself in that black doctor's point of view. Like he's not really gonna speak up too much because I mean he's trying to become a doctor.
right.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
he's
He's
trying to do
fit
good.
in.
So this
Yeah.
was when the students started circling through was after the cure, like after
Yeah,
penicillin
yeah.
was known. So I don't know why none of them.
But
These
I
students
don't
know there's a cure, right? If they're like just gonna let you watch,
Yeah, I
Just
see what you're
happen.
getting at now. Yeah.
like none of them thought
Carrot.
they know they have syphilis, right? They know like they're willingly.
because they were getting
letting this.
I mean,
Go.
but what if like the doc, they told, these.
Well, they've told them, hey,
they're
this has
like,
been going on since 32.
yeah,
This
well,
guy's
no,
had it
maybe
for
they just
15 years now.
obscured it. They're like, hey, they're running a study. They know they have it. They know there's a cure. They're just, it could have,
Like
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so fucked up, man. Like, there's so many.
Yeah, when I read that, like, they had, like, burial insurance was in there, I'm like, that threw up a red flag for me, and then...
Why would I need burial insurance?
Yeah, but I can see why that would make a lot of them want to participate in that study. Because, you're poor as shit, like, you die, you're just going to add an extra burden of debt to your family.
So they're...
Yeah, they're like, okay, whatever.
And
if
I'm
I
sure
kick in
in-
the next, whatever.
Munco County or whatever it was,
How much were
deaths
they
were
paid?
probably common.
They were paid at all?
No.
I missed it.
They said they'll get the quote-unquote treatment and burial insurance.
They got free treatments
But
and
they
free
didn't get any
food while they
money
were getting treatment.
from it.
Yep. They were supposedly getting treated for free for their bad blood. For 40 years. Like, that was it. That's all they got.
God, man, that's...
I feel like just information. It's like, we're at the information age. Back then, think about how people got their
I
knowledge.
did have one
That's
person
why.
come
That's
through
why
and
it
say-
should be harder
People
to
got their
oppress.
knowledge
You know?
from
I had one person come
previous
through and say the audio's coming through real funky.
knowledge.
Yes, she said
Um,
that.
Yeah,
Not
and
current
I messaged back and I was like, how about now? And I
Back
have
then, like,
everything
you don't really
back.
have a way to
But,
communicate.
obviously
They
I
didn't have
had a couple other contacts.
access to
Listen it
everything.
ourselves
Yeah.
when
And again, I
That's
think they
why-
definitely picked this area and these people specifically
Right.
And it
because they knew they
seems that
wouldn't
Question.
get papers, and even if they did get papers, they wouldn't be able to read them.
Because they would question it.
When I
There's no way that they would know that there's a cure. There's
When
no
I
way they
switched
would know that they were
from
getting
the
experimented on. There's no way. They're
to
too
monitor the social
ignorant
medias,
and uneducated to know better.
it goes back to
And
just
it
to the
sucks.
main screen.
Praying on the week.
When you do what?
When I've got the window open in OBS,
Then you try to go to a different screen.
and I go to open the window.
It goes back to main.
Yeah, it just goes back to the one
Alright,
with
so
the
you
logos
can't,
in the
you
corner.
can't go. You should use your pad, your iPad.
That's
to,
what I'm thinking about doing for
to
this
do
next
anything
part.
else. Yeah, you should just keep that for directing that, because that's what I do for my. Because I don't want it to like skip or anything funky. So I try to keep it just on my Cubase, and I keep my eye on it because, dude, out of 31 episodes, I've completely forgot. I've had an interview with somebody, and it wasn't recording. For like 40 fucking minutes, dude. And I go back to it, 40 fucking minutes of an interview with
Yeah.
somebody. And I go to it and I'm like, holy
Yeah, what was the
fuck.
stuff you guys kept doing?
We're talking to each other because he's
At the-
communicating
like,
with
at
me
the
about
beginning of
stuff.
it and stuff.
I'm talking to him about stuff that should be on the screen. Like I was telling him to put the
Put
Twitter
the
up on
Twitter
there.
and stuff on there, and so that's
So,
what I
yeah,
was
don't
doing.
like if you
Okay.
see us communicating, try not to make anything.
I was
up.
trying not to. Do I need to worry?
Yeah,
like,
sorry about that.
No, don't worry about it.
Like,
I'll
is
stop.
everything working
If
okay?
anything
Yeah,
happens, let that be known. If anything happens, I'll stop and I'll say something to you.
All right.
We can go off air, even though we're streaming live, dude. We are still recording.
So they can see
a
us wandering
podcast.
around right now.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
off
still
air.
live?
It's off air, but we're not recording.
Oh.
It'll pop up. You'll be seeing
I know.
yourself. It's like 15 second delay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's still. I didn't stop the recording, but it's still recording. We can cut that section out, no problem. But
And
Cut
yeah,
your
that's the
section
thing.
out.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
The podcast, which is gonna be put up on SoundCloud, is not gonna have all this.
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
We're still making a podcast here.
Mhm.
The stream is just like kind of an extra thing for those
Yeah,
people that
that's-
that are friends on Facebook,
Yep.
and those people that listen to us should become friends on Facebook, and then boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
We
man.
make mention of it on the thing. They
So,
can see us.
so how many followers do you think we should
Let me-
have before we actually submit to the Amazon affiliate?
A lot.
Like hundreds or
If
thousands?
you're talking about 50 cents or something per like click to the
No,
thing.
it's
Oh, I
not
have
per
compost,
click.
by the way.
It's per purchase. So it's like they go there, when they're in. If they buy something, we get a chunk of that. Amazon gets money because they get a click, but we only get money if they buy something.
Yeah, but how many? Like, dude.
Well, I mean, all we can do is try. I was thinking maybe if we get a solid 150 followers. I mean,
we
I
can
say
try.
we just submit it, and I mean, because it just said like it's completely up to them, and they can decline it or approve it, and I'm sure they don't just base it on followers. I'm sure they'll probably look and see like the content, how regularly we post, what we do. That's why like my goal is 3 to 5 tweets per day, and 1 to 2 Facebook updates. You know, and then Instagram, I want to, you know, take some more pictures just throughout tonight, and then stretch those out, post those throughout the day. You know what I mean? So that way, if they see, oh, they've only got 150 followers, well, they look at their content. You know, consistently, three tweets a day. You know, and they're getting so many likes and stuff like that. They'll be like, all right, they're up and coming. You know what I mean?
We are up and coming, dude. And we're gonna.
So that's kind of what I'm. And I mean,
we're
yeah.
gonna be the best podcast in Austin.
And I mean, even in the whole terms and agreement, it says like if it is turned down, like you can resubmit at any time. They're just, you know, subject to approve it, you know, based on their own, you know, criteria.
Fucking right.
So worst case, you know, we'll get it back saying, oh, you know, we decline it, you know, try again. Well, fuck, let's get 50 more followers and then we'll do it again.
Lemon, did you see my new boots, girl?
Oh, is that the ones you're talking about?
No, I didn't. Those are
So
beautiful.
Jackie Ellison, who was on our show, the mustache champion, he works for this company
Those
called
are
Hound
real
Boots.
nice.
These are gosh darn nice.
What are they?
They're bison.
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 Yeah, sorry, I couldn't keep my leg up.
It's a.
Have you
Let me help you.
you ever had a bison burger?
I've had bison
I just
chili
bought
before.
bison meat yesterday. It's so nice. I'm gonna make it with some spaghetti.
These
sauce.
usually
Bison
cost
burgers are
$500,
amazing.
but they had to sell 150
Never
bucks.
brought up
I'm
bison
like,
burgers.
it's the most expensive shoes I've ever paid for in my life. And like, I'm proud of them because I'm gonna take good care of them because
No, they
they're
look
my
really
shoes, and I
Yeah.
paid $160 for them.
They're beautiful.
But now I have some actual like adult shoes.
Are they comfortable?
This is comfortable
Right?
shoes. Yeah, they're relatively comfortable. I worked all day in them. I'm still
Oh.
standing in them. I went to
Well,
work with
and
them.
also they're new, so you're gonna wear them in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm wearing house shoes.
Well, and those are like those are a combination of like
I just can't shit.
casual.
I mean, I wear steel toe
And
boots
nice.
every day
Yeah.
at work,
I love
so
them.
it's like
Anytime.
when I get home, like
I love
I pretty much wear.
And
If
they
you see
make
me
some
wearing
deep
actual
drops.
shoes,
Which are
Now.
like it's a
Oh, they're
special
all-
event.
all the time.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Let's say it's your day off or something.
Like
Oh,
I,
like a heel.
when I
Wear
walk,
running
I
shoes
give
at
myself
work 'cause
a
I'm
click.
on my feet.
yeah, it's a favor, right? So you
Oh,
walk
here
in.
comes
on
League
the
of
way.
Doom.
All right,
So
you guys
just-
ready?
All right, let's do it.
Coach was listening to live stream. She texted
Yep.
that HPV is a ghost in men that says boo to women.
Oh.
I couldn't. I
That's
saw
pretty-
that
that's
and
pretty good.
I couldn't figure out what she meant by that. Yeah, it was
Oh,
something
did
like
she
a-
put it up there?
I think I saw something
Oh.
like that. Something about a
Because
ghost. Well, it
If
doesn't show
exist
up
in
in
us,
it.
and then
And
Mm.
I
Then you
actually
get the
honestly just
negative
learned that
effect.
maybe like 2 weeks ago. So I had no idea.
All right, so let's
It's so
get ready
sad.
to pull up that idiom.
Now
idiot,
they are offering
want a
graphic?
Let's
in, what is it? A
you want me to just
preventative
do like
vaccine
main, and then we'll go
that you
from
can
main to
receive
idiom.
from
Yeah,
whenever
it's
you're
right now we're at,
13
yeah, put it back
Yeah,
to
we're
main.
half back. Yeah. Okay, so.
No, you should just put it right into idiom.
Oh, right into.
to keep
oh,
you
here we
from
go,
getting
here we go.
HPV.
But no, I'm gonna play a
Well,
little bit. You're gonna
supposedly.
hear idiom.
Right, but there are different or like different strains of it, so we can't
Right.
full
Hey
on
guys,
present
you guys
it.
ready?
The idea, oh,
Wait, we need backup beers.
Get your
No,
beers ready.
back
Let's
up
go.
yours.
You
You
guys
good? You good?
got 20
Oh,
seconds.
you now. You getting another girl.
um,
right, girl.
it's called Gardasil. Gardasil is the vaccine
Teamisil.
that girls
Gardasil?
Gardasil. It's the vaccine that that girls can get as early as they're 12 until they're 27 years old for free as a preventative vaccine to prevent getting HPV.
And we're gonna
27
get
is such a weird
They
cutoff.
can get
Probably
it.
Planned
Why do
Parenthood.
they say 27?
That's what you get
age
your-
that you're off of your parents' insurance, if I'm not correct. Is that 26?
Oh.
I thought it was 26.
Well, 27s.
Okay.
So maybe you should just clear there.
27.
Yeah.
20 no, but it really is 27. I know
Okay.
because I worked in a medical clinic before, and if you don't have insurance and they don't cover it within your
We're
age,
still off
it's
the
like
air.
$350 for this vaccine. And supposedly, it helps fight off those sticky little antibodies.
Yeah. This has been a PSA brought to you by Medical.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. I mean, I think that,
No, that's information that needs to be out there.
well, I think that all women, you know, if they're young and if they're going to be sexually active, deserve the fucking right to get a vaccine against it.
Yeah.
Right?
Like that's
Mhm.
all about it. Yeah. And that's all I have to say about that. And that's all I have to say
I
about
was about
that.
to say, you sound like Forrest Gump. That's all I gotta say about that.
About that.
You want to see a picture of Lieutenant Dan? All right, let's hear it. All right,
legs of Diane.
here we go.
All right.
All right, we are on the air. Ha ha! Woo! That's right. Hoo hoo!
I'm gonna win this motherfucker.
That's right.
Coach. Yeah.
That is correct. Welcome to another edition of Idiom. This is the only phrase game where we play for the Golden Jazz Master and the only phrase game in the world where we guess the origin of idioms. What is
Right.
What is an idiom?
This is
You
the
might ask
world's
yourself.
favorite idiom-based game show.
That's right.
I'm
It's the only, the one and only.
pretty positive.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't make it seem as cool when you say one and only. When you
Well,
say it's the
we are
world's
the one-
favorite,
It is the world's
I
It's
agree.
favorite.
branding.
I like the
it's
the
branding.
world's favorite.
It's
yeah.
branding.
All right, quick question. What's better, one and only, or the world's favorite?
See, world's favorite
World's favorite
implies
is-
that there are more and we're the best.
Yeah. Whereas
One and
the
only
only,
means-
whereas it could be great or it could be
It could
completely
suck,
shitty.
but we're the only ones.
It's
so it
your
doesn't
only
matter.
option.
Right.
I guess you're right about that. You win on that one. That's
World's
1 point for you
favorite.
right off the
Woo!
bat. I'm just kidding. Fuck you. All right. We are gonna play Idiom for the Golden Jazz Master. Hold up, Golden Jazz Master.
Yeah, hit your buttons.
I got all these buttons now.
So many buttons.
All right. Well, what is an idiom? An idiom is a phrase or some sort of word
it
combination
a turn of
that
phrase?
does not mean its literal meaning. It has a different meaning, and we all know it. It could be modern. It was coined somewhere. So,
Could you give us an example?
well, let's talk about under the weather. Under the weather, right? You would be back in Navy. They had
Back
lists.
in Navy.
Navy?
Back in Navy.
Because Navy doesn't exist anymore. That gives us a definitive
Yeah.
time in which things existed.
Anyways, the Navy has
In the
lists,
Navy.
and if you were under the weather list, you were sick.
You're under the weather.
Pretty much, okay?
in the Navy.
Don't quote me on that.
That means you're fucking sick in the Navy.
In the Navy.
All right. Anyways, we are gonna play for the Golden
Beautiful
Jazz
explanation.
Master.
That was.
Everybody on
flawless.
Facebook right now is gonna be able to see the Golden Jazz
Don't point at
Master
the
right
TV.
now.
Point at them.
I mean, everybody
Yeah,
on
there
TV
you go. God
is
damn
gonna
it.
see the Golden Jazz Master right now. So let's have Tiffany bring it out. Tiffany, bring out the Golden Jazz Master.
They can see that there's no Tiffany.
Did she
Oh.
leave again?
That's the flaw in the live stream.
Well, wait a minute. No, there was a Tiffany. Where did she go? Did you see
No,
her
but we can
off?
see Luke in the background
No,
licking
but-
himself.
Well,
gonna
Tiffany
do
left because she was so offended. I
Yeah,
was trying to tell
she
you
was
guys.
so upset about the syphilis action.
Well, because she
She
has
filmed
HPV.
out.
All right, so
Ah.
here's how the game works. I'm gonna give
I like-
you.
I'm
I
sorry,
like
I
his
didn't mean
his
to tell
tablet's
you.
giving this a soft blue glow on
I'm
the bottom
gonna-
of the screen.
I'm gonna give you guys an idiom. And
Okay,
I'm gonna give you an origin of the idiom,
right.
and you're gonna guess if it's true. Oops, if it's true or if it's false, right?
After all this time, you think you would know?
Shut the fuck up!
Don't you even have them labeled?
I do have them labeled. Shut up. That's even worse. I know. Sorry, I slipped, but they're right next to each other, so I have that. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Okay,
I mean,
we're
there's.
all
You had no
Chilling.
problem hitting the ain't
We're
that
all
a bitch
just
or a million
chilling.
times earlier.
I know. I'm just having.
Well,
a
it's the same button.
I'm
Muscle
just,
memory.
I'm just having some trouble, you guys. Okay. All right. Let's play Idiom or Idiom for the Golden Jazz
Oh,
Master.
And he just
That's
he's just
pretty intense
licking
music, right?
himself hardcore back there, like he is going to town.
Well, he's looking his tail right
He's
now.
looking.
Oh, he's on his tail now. He's moved down.
All right, stop bringing attention to it, okay?
Sorry.
If you guys are
I
listening
just
right
every time
now,
I look up.
if you're listening and you don't know what he's talking about, we have a Facebook stream going on right now, which is actually going to be a YouTube stream eventually, and we're going to do a stream where everybody will be able to watch us. Well, we're on Facebook at the moment because it's easy, and my cat's licking himself. He's licking some balls. And everything.
Hygiene is important.
But we are playing for the Golden Jazz Master, and here we are with number 1.
All right.
Under the bridge.
Under the bridge
Actually,
of time.
water under the bridge. I don't
Oh.
know why I skipped under the water, but here it is. Let's play Idiom for the Golden Jazz Master. Number 1. Water under the bridge.
I knew you were gonna say that.
It means let bygones be bygones, pretty much.
Bygones go by the wayside.
What's done is done. You know? What's going on over there? Alright, anyways, I don't know why we're paying attention to you guys.
The way Luke is looking at me right now.
He's
Staring me the fuck
He's
down.
staring you down. Okay, anyways.
Sorry.
Right, so
Should we start
origin.
over? Here we go. The origin. We all know what it means, right? Let
Yeah.
bygones be bygones. Bygones.
Yeah, no worries, man. It's water under the bridge.
So thank you. So, this is a dark one, okay?
Oh fuck.
This is a real dark
Is it one of those down here we all float type of things?
What does that mean? Down here
From
we
the
all-
It? From It?
I haven't seen that movie.
We all float down here. Pennywise when he's in the sewer in the balloon. And
Go on.
never mind. He's trying to get kids down into his lair, which is in the sewer, so he can kill them. And when they're all dead, they all float. That's the
Probably
thing, we all
see
float.
maybe 10%.
Here, tell me some more about this.
Don't worry about it. Just
Tell me some more about this.
so there's this creature that lives in the sewer of this town in Maine. Because it's Stephen King, so everything's in Maine.
It's true.
And it takes the shape of whatever it needs to get into the minds of its victims. So when it sets its sight on this group of small children, it becomes a clown.
A cloud.
A clown. And
The fuck?
we have discovered that this is the source of the clown phobia. Why people think clowns are fucking creepies because of Stephen King's It.
Stephen King is.
So it didn't exist before that?
He's.
Probably.
He would a fucking cocksucker.
I was just running with that.
Alright, so. This is the dark one.
So-
As I was.
But
going-
everybody floats down here. It's in the
But
water
that's
under
just
the bridge.
water under
Everybody
the
floats.
bridge, so-
Yeah.
But yeah, we're back
And
to
everybody's
water under the
floating in
bridge
it.
for the Golden Jazz Master. Okay, here we go. This is a dark one.
Effing
1920s. Okay, we talked about the Depression earlier, and we're talking about it right now. The Depression, but actually in San Francisco. Okay, the most suicides in U.S. history. There was over 1,500
Oh, that
suicides.
Golden Gate.
1,500 suicides, and most were by leading off a building or bridge. The Golden Gate reported a whopping 500 deaths from 1900 to 1930 because people don't involve themselves in
Wow.
strangers' affairs. This is where the idiot is born. So let's start
Wait,
with Nick.
people don't involve themselves in strangers' affairs. Where did that come from? What does that have to do with?
I don't know. That's what I fucking wrote off the website. Okay, Nick, is this true or false?
That makes no fucking sense, man.
Because you know what, people didn't get involved. I get it, dude. Like they weren't like people now where they're gonna yell at somebody back at.
Oh,
at
the
a
number
parade
was
and
so
shit.
high because people weren't like, "Hey, don't jump, son. You got things to live for."
Yeah, they were just like, fuck,
People
man.
mind their own
we got,
business
we
then.
got, yeah, they minded their own business, I guess.
They're like, "Hey, there's some syphilis thing going on right now, man. You do you."
Stay the fuck in your car.
I'm gonna falsify this one. I ain't going with it.
He's saying false. Brandon, what do you say?
Oh, I didn't even know I was playing.
You're playing too.
Man, okay.
I should introduce the players. I suck at this
Yeah.
game. You guys are distracting though. All right, Brandon,
As a host, you got to be prepared for that.
I am prepared.
Well, we
Brandon,
are live, so I understand.
we are live. Are we live?
We are
We're
live.
live in Atlanta.
That's right.
Wait, what?
I mean,
We are probably in
Awesome.
Atlanta. If there's somebody that's listening.
Yeah, of
probably-
course. Yeah.
All right, Brandon, true or false?
False.
He's saying fuck that. All right, Lemon. is
I
that true or
definitely think it's true.
false? My girl. All right. Well, let's go ahead. We're gonna go with Nick. I dedicated him to be the one that goes first. Nick, you said false at saying that. What I was saying is false. That's bullshit. Are you right or are you wrong? You are judges. He is right by saying that I am incorrect.
I'm right
by
in saying you're wrong.
So you guys are getting a point. Lemon does not get a point. All right.
Wait,
Right.
So this actually comes from ancient Greece, and that's all I gotta say about that.
wait.
Just
Hey,
ancient
That's
Greece?
just ancient Greece?
Yeah. It
Wait,
just comes from
really?
It just goes back to
Okay,
ancient
listeners,
It's like Shakespeare. Shakespeare
Give
wrote
us
it.
some
So
feedback.
That's all you need to say.
I do say that's like
Somebody
acceptable.
look this
right?
up for us.
No, because I already did, and I'm just.
water under the bridge. Is it like the river Styx?
Would you accept
Is
if
that
I
the
said
water that's under the bridge?
if I went like this and said water under bridge, and I said ancient Greece? True or false, Nick?
Oh,
Would you accept that?
False to that.
Okay,
so
no,
fast.
I've got a little bit more. Okay, so.
Oh, okay. I was like, what's going on here?
It's written in their literature, in their whatever they watch or whatever they
do.
grew up on, that water flows. It's basically the idea that water
Oh.
flows under the bridge and there's nothing you can do about it. And it's always been a sort of
Grass is greener.
no. It's just water is
Water's
flowing.
gonna
What's done is done. There's nothing you can do about it, and it's something that's been gone back all the way to ancient Greece. That's why it's ancient Greece. So there's a lot of mentions in a lot of the literature you can find in museums and
See,
whatnot.
now that makes sense.
I know. I'm just fucking.
Because it just keeps flowing and it doesn't matter.
All right,
Like-
so Brandon and Nick are up. Let's play Idiot or Idiom. For the Golden Jazz Master. That's right.
Yeah, I like the way that trails off.
Hit the sack.
Hit the
I'm
sack.
gonna hit the sack right now. What does that mean?
That means you
Let-
punch somebody in the balls.
But that it actually does mean that. That's our new idiom game. Change the word. It's the new. What's the modern way of saying it? Okay, Lemon. What does that mean? Hitting the sack.
Well, I believe that it means you're so exhausted, you're just gonna go and hit the fucking,
You're
you know,
going to bed.
hay of a bag, which is really nowadays a bed, which back then I'm sure it was hay.
Well, I'm glad
is
that
also
you.
why
I'm
it's
glad
hit the
that you
hay.
mentioned that because actually it comes from the game rugby, where after an infraction of
What?
rules, the forwards
What?
from each team.
I'm glad you mentioned that
Hey,
because
hey,
something
hey.
completely separate from that.
I was reading the next one. Sorry.
Well, now we know.
I'm glad that you mentioned that.
Because football.
1902 mattresses were often sack stuffed with straw. I can't
Oh
believe
my
I
god,
fucked
that's
that
what I just said!
up. Okay,
True!
so Brandon, is that true or false?
That would be. I'm gonna go true on that one.
Sucker.
Oh.
All right, Lemon, what do you think about that?
Okay, so it has nothing to do with what you first said. It's
Yeah, ignore what I said because I actually read the next one. Sorry.
Okay, so
It actually comes from rugby.
repeat yourself.
All right, I'm sorry. Hit the sack. Actually, 1902 mattresses were often sacks that were stuffed with straw or hay, just like you
Literally
said.
just what I said. So why
Exactly-
are you even
it's
asking
exactly
me
what you
this
said.
question? It's true.
Because I'm a shitty host, okay?
You're not. You're never a
Nick, what do you
shitty
say?
I'm going
You
true.
said-
You already wrote it, but I'm going with it.
All right,
Thanks
are we
for
gonna look at-
rewriting it, Dick.
All right, I fucked up.
Coach
Sorry.
even chimed in. I saw it.
Are you
She
guys-
said true? She's playing from home.
Are you
It's
guys even?
because-
She should not be answering,
I.
so that she can. That's bullshit. You should wait till after the ding before you
You can,
answer.
you can see
Oh,
it.
she can play
You
from
can
home.
see it.
That's
You can see it.
censorship,
Yeah.
man.
Okay,
It
you're right.
pops
As
up
long
on
as
the
you
bottom
don't
when they
change,
put
as
it
long
in.
as you don't change based on.
No, I'm not gonna let somebody else's
Yeah, don't
answer
let it
change my
influence
own.
your answer.
All right.
Why would it? There's anybody else in the room answering and change my answer?
Well, I think
No,
the
this is
main.
so
I am
bad.
way too much of a
I
stubborn
think-
mule to
I
fucking do
think
that.
the main thing was that I guessed it, and you're like, "Fuck, this can't be it."
Yeah, you. She's
It's
like, I think it's
actually
from
not-
this, and you're like, oh, well, actually, sports ball.
It's actually rugby.
Let's play idiot or idiom
It's like, what is the ball used to be made out of hay, and that's how you hit it, or what?
for the Golden Jazz
It's
Master.
so confusing.
All right, you guys already know the first half of this one, anyways. When push comes to shove. Ooh. So idiom, right? You know, when push comes to shove. What does push come to shove?
That means when you're working on something, but now it's time to really fucking get down and serious about it. Like,
Yeah. You're
now
like,
it's time to get
when
you're
it's
like,
real
you're
about
like,
this
When
shit.
it's time to commit to an action.
hey.
right.
When it's time to commit
Hey!
to this, really get down to
Yeah.
it, okay? Well, you guys heard me say this, okay? So
It
in
comes from rugby.
comes from rugby. Rugby.
Ruggery.
Ruggery.
Ruggery. This is ruggery.
Is this a Monty Python skit? What the fuck is
Rugby.
happening right now?
Where after an infraction of rules, the forwards from each team face off and push one another, and you guys have seen that big old power
Right.
like that. That's actually where when push comes to shove comes from. Brandon, actually, lemon, true or false? Is that where this idiom comes from?
Classy. Classy.
Sorry, everybody, listen. Idiom. Brandon, what do you say?
I gotta go with true, Bob.
He's saying true, Bob. And Mr. Nick
I
Ryder.
think I'm gonna true as well,
He's
man.
going to say true. All right, let's go ahead and look at the judges. Judges, we're actually going to be looking at Lemon on this
Don't
one.
look at me with that tone of voice.
She said false. Is she correct with that one? She's got 2 against her, but let's see. Our judges, oh, they're looking at each other, talking over each other, okay? Judges, is Lemon correct? Lemon is correct!
Oh, that's not
Yes,
true.
That is absolutely not
Yeah.
true, okay? It was actually used in print as early as 1873.
Oh, what? Rugby wasn't around then?
No, it wasn't.
Wait,
Oh.
when
But it was also found later in print, 1936, 1953, 80, 58, but it's an unknown origin when it comes down to it. Unknown origin. Like I told you, this game has unknown shit.
I mean, I think it just makes sense. If
So
you're
unknown
really-
is always an option.
Unknown is always an
I-
option.
I think you need to pick ones that are just
No.
yeah.
All right,
That's what I said.
let's play Idiot or Idiom.
So she got a right answer for getting the correct origin on something that doesn't have an origin.
An origin?
An origin.
An origin.
Well, what I gave it to you is the origin, the earliest
The-
mention.
the
of it. I
origin.
gave you the
Just that
earliest.
the origin is false.
The origin, okay? I told you about the origin.
Still
and
calling bullshit.
Shut the. That's what you're Idiom. For the Golden Jazz Master! That's right.
Ooh.
Okay. Have the
Only
world
at
by its tail.
Manchester.
We are getting
Oh.
desperate on Idiot or Idiom, so I'm grabbing anything I can. Having the
Are you
world.
grabbing idioms by the tail?
I'm just grabbing phrases now.
Yeah.
Have the
Yeah.
world by its tail. Now that means you have destiny under control. Alright?
Okay.
You have the world by the tail.
You
You're
have
like
the
you're
world by
ambitious
the
and
tail?
you have the world. You're like you have under. You think you have everything under control.
I think it's
Okay.
you like grab the there's an animal involved.
You're right. Absolutely. This one has
And a body part.
believed to have derived from grabbing a tiger by the tail, which is something difficult to manage. So it's one of those idioms where it's actually the opposite of something. Like we've gone over this before. I can't bring up one right at the moment. But
Which one?
Perfect.
But we are going to go with that one.
So-
It actually comes from being an opposite, like a sarcastic way of saying having the tiger by the tail. Okay, which is very difficult. Having the world by the tail is super fucking difficult. So that's what we're going by. Nick, is that true or is that
False.
false?
That doesn't even make sense.
All
man.
right, Brandon, true or false?
False.
You seeing false?
Yeah,
Lemon.
definitely false. I mean, what is going on here?
All right, we're gonna look. It doesn't matter what you guys picked. We're gonna say, look. I mean, it does matter what you picked, but it doesn't matter because you guys all picked the same thing. Nick is picked to be first. Nick is first to be picked.
Host.
That's right.
Hosting is
And
hard.
Nick, is he correct?
Oh,
That
man,
is
that
where
means
the
all
idiom
of
comes
us.
from, you guys. It's believed
So
to come
grab
from.
the world by the tail
Is-
comes from grab a tiger. So this idiom comes from an idiom, and that's just the end of it.
That's right.
I mean, I'm more familiar
That's
with
not an
grab
origin.
tiger-
That's just a step on the way to an origin.
Yeah.
You're ridiculous. And that's
See, I
not-
can't actually
I
say the
don't
word
know,
when I
man.
want to.
Doesn't matter. You're ridiculous because
I think it.
you just can't accept when you're incorrect sometimes, and that's fine. Here we go. Let's play
You
idiom.
can't
The
justify
last-
an idiom by another idiom.
Hold up a second. What?
You can't justify an idiom by another idiom. That's not an origin. That's just another idiom.
You don't understand because it does come from that. If I
Okay,
was,
but then where does that one come from? Like, we need to have an origin. That's what it means.
okay, but catch a tiger by the tail. That's already some. I gave you a. That's it's not. Catch a tiger by the tail is
By
not
its-
an idiom.
It is by its toe.
By its toe.
Catching a T. Yeah. But
Yes.
catching a tiger. I don't have to.
I mean,
give
I've
you-
always heard catching a tiger or a wolf by the ears.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so we're all.
But
at
you're like
odds
right
here.
up there by the teeth, man. That's a
Well,
bad
that,
spot
I know
to be.
it's a dangerous situation,
That's
but it's
like-
also very.
That's for
like,
those people who need to grab a hold of the situation and have real balls.
Yeah, see. That's what I mean.
Come out of teeth first.
So grab the situation by its balls.
Right. Grab the situation by Brandon's huge balls.
I believe the phrases.
That's the idiom that this comes from. Moving on.
Give me a second. All right,
Now
here
it
we
all
go.
makes sense.
Let's play idiom or idiom. For the golden jazz master. Yeah.
Johnny Lang
Oh,
song
is
about
that
that.
is that the idiom?
Hit the ground running. That is our idiom that we're gonna go.
Yeah, it's a Johnny Lang song.
So that means to start.
He invented it.
Start with a fast pace with extreme enthusiasm. Do you know what I'm saying, y'all? So
Is that the idiom?
that's the idiom. That's what it means. To start something with a fast pace and have extreme enthusiasm. Okay, that makes sense, right?
Like if you're sitting around talking and you're like, I got this idea for a new business, and you're like, yeah, I like this idea, and I'm like, yeah, great idea, blah, blah, blah. We're gonna hit the ground running, and like, boom.
Yeah, doing it.
This is great because this is a literal one. It actually comes from hobos riding the rails because when they would ride the rails, they'd have to fucking literally jump off
'cause you're
and hit the
moving,
ground running so that they wouldn't just
Hit
like
the ground running.
hit their face on it. So that's what it's gonna be. And Brandon, true or false, bro?
That makes sense to me. I gotta go true on that one.
That's right.
I almost for some reason said
Lemon.
false.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
Okay, hit the ground running.
I was so zoned out. Just
This comes from hobos, and when they rode the rails, and they would have to, when they would get off on their stop, they would have to actually literally jump off, and they would have to run as they landed, so they wouldn't just like land and then slam their face down. So they had to hit the ground running. So they had to run at a fast pace. Is that true or false? This origin.
False.
False.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to just.
That's okay.
Lemon, we got people rooting for
I'm
you
going.
I'm like,
on online.
No,
Really?
people are
Guys,
going for
yeah,
you.
people are going for Lemon.
Go
Really?
Lemon. Nick,
I'm
is
going-
this true or false?
I'm going false. Look, a healthy human being can't run as fast as a train, much less a hobo. Like, you're gonna jump out and immediately hit it at the same speed and keep up with it. No. What you do is you tuck and roll so you don't fucking break something, but you can't just leap out and start running at the same speed to keep up with the momentum you got going on. That's fucking impossible. False. Science!
Alright, so we're gonna go with Brandon, who said true. We're gonna look at the judges. He said true. We're gonna go back.
Don't fake me out.
So Brandon, you
Driving me
are
crazy.
incorrect. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
man.
I am sorry, brother.
I am the idiot.
You are the idiot. I'm sorry.
I am the
I'm
idiot.
sorry. Okay. This actually comes. It was actually used first in print in a piece called "The King of All Liars," and I will read you an excerpt of it.
Oh, please excerpt us.
I turned to run and figured to a dot when he shot. As he cracked loose, I jumped way up in the air and did a split, just like what these gal shows do. Only mine wasn't on the ground by 6 foot. The bullet went under me. I knew he had 5 more cartridges, so I hit the ground running and squatted low down when his gun barked a second time. That's where the idiom comes from, I believe, and that is idiom. Let's look at who we have. So Nick, you have 1, 2, 3.
You
Let's
goddamn
see.
right.
Brandon, you have 1, 2, 3. 2. Just
Two, sounds
sorry.
1, 2.
Lemon has 1, 2, 3. We have a tie.
who's type?
You and me.
Nick and I.
No, Lemon and Nick are tied.
Lemon and Nick.
So
I knew it was gonna
we're
come
gonna
down
go
to us.
into a tiebreaker, but I'm gonna use something that I've used before
What?
because I don't have anything prepared for
Why
right
would
now.
you use something? What?
I don't know. Maybe it's old. Maybe you don't remember.
We could just
Maybe.
play rock, paper, scissors.
I mean, yeah.
How about
It is
that
We
live.
can take a
Lemon
poll.
and Nick? You guys are both winners.
No,
no,
what
is
Max,
this?
No,
No, that's just how we're gonna do it.
You don't have one right. You don't have another one right. Didn't you have like
I
100
thought I
last
did.
week?
I thought I did, but it wasn't. I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm like,
Okay, hang on.
I'm lacking.
We've got one. We can definitely do this.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's no ties in this podcast.
We
It's,
can't. Somebody's got to win. I mean,
yeah,
it's
exactly.
only one guitar. Somebody's got to take it.
I don't have anything else, man. I fucked
Wait a
up.
second.
I tell you.
No. You are gonna come up with the idiom.
I am gonna.
Yes.
Ooh.
And so you've got one. I know you do. I'm not even gonna look at you right now because I don't want to put the pressure on. But I know you have one, and you already know what it is, and you'll just ask us.
But I don't know the origin.
I got
or
one. Here you
anything
guys
like
go.
that.
We're gonna play Idiot or Idiom.
I'm like, I know you know this.
To tie break this motherfucker.
Motherfucker!
Last sold
Yeah.
down the
Sold
river,
down the river.
man.
betrayed or cheated.
Yeah.
All right. This phrase originated in the Mississippi region of the USA during the slave trading days. Slaves who caused trouble were sold from the northern slave states into much harsher conditions on plantations on the lower Mississippi, which means you were sold down the river. Makes great sense, doesn't it?
Mm.
Let's see who went last. Let's see. Lemon went first last time, so let's go ahead. Wait, who wants to go first? Lemon, do you want to go first?
I'll go. I got this.
Should Lemon go first? Do you want
Want me
him?
to go first?
It's up to you. We're gonna give
I
you the
think-
option. Do you want to go first, or you want him to go first?
I think it's definitely his turn.
Because hold up a second. If he picks something, you have to go the opposite. Because we're at a tiebreaker. I'm sorry.
There's
to
no
make that
have to.
I don't have any other tiebreakers here.
Fucking
We
well,
have
bullshit.
to-
Let's
we
just
have
shut
a
up.
tiebreaker. I think Lemon should go first.
I think we
She
should
is the
say it
visitor.
at the exact same time.
Write them down. Write it down. One of you
No,
write it
no,
down.
Let me go first. She's the guest here. Why you gotta be a jerk? He
No,
wasn't.
he wasn't.
How many
See?
times have you won the Golden Jazz Master?
She's even saying I'm not being a jerk. You just watch the name calling over there, buddy.
Wow.
Oh my god,
Lemon.
that's so funny. Oh, okay,
True or
sorry.
false?
Sorry. Oh god damn it. What was I gonna pick?
Sold down the river.
I'm gonna say false.
Is that what you would have said?
I was gonna say true.
You were gonna say
Really?
true?
Perfect.
No, okay.
I
so
think this is perfect.
See, we didn't need all that bullshit.
we did need that bullshit because it made good radio. All right.
Did it?
Let's go
But
with.
did it?
But did it?
Let's go with Nick.
Did it?
Nick, we're gonna go with you, brother, and we're gonna see if you're true or false. This will decide
True.
if you're right or wrong.
Yeah.
We're gonna see if you're right. You're gonna win the Golden Jazz Master. Nick, judges, are you sure? Again, that fucking guy. All right, he won the Golden Jazz Master. There, him. He's playing it. Oh man, he picked it up and played it already.
They
Damn.
can see that that's not true.
God damn it.
Nick,
I
you were
think-
too good at this
gosh.
game. I don't think you've ever lost a game.
I
You
lost
won-
once. That's
lost
how I
once?
ended up having to host for a long time.
That's right. Well, one day you will host it
I
again.
remember
But
that
until
one
then-
defeat.
Thanks for playing into your
I love that we have
Yeah, you're
off
welcome.
air.
a soundbite. Oh, we're off air?
This
Ooh,
one's
my
only a
ears.
2-minute break. 2-minute break, okay?
2-minute break.
God, it's
8:50.
so
And then
hard.
we do
It's
news.
so hard with those.
And then the news.
Most of the time, because I'm already like stoned, like whenever it
We can
happens.
just end the show from here.
Most of the time.
Okay.
Most of the time, whenever this happens, it's like I always get like too stoned to like actually remember what he fucking said. I'm like, God damn it.
I didn't
It's
even
always
know
an
the first time it
issue.
came to me. I just thought I wasn't playing because I was using that
I
to
asked
just
him
like
twice for a
edit
beat
that.
song. I'm like, God damn it! Like seriously, that I needed that. I was like, what did he even say? And the last time I was like, I got lost in my mind. It's really hard sometimes to
In there
focus.
somewhere.
Yeah, I could do this all day. This is fun. Maybe have like a little information like thing over here where I can just be like, just like plug it in, just know. This is the funnest.
100%. I'm trying to look up for random things to be news stories.
Oh,
Dogs can follow your cues to know what you know.
Alright, you guys good?
Yeah, we just
Are we ending the show? Where are we at right now? We're at an hour 23
We are
minutes.
at yes. That's kind of long. You just want to cut it off.
it's illegal to climb Hawaiian's churches. Like,
What's up?
Sadly.
It's kind of long. You just want to cut it off.
No, we're
You
ready
like
to
it
go
more?
right now.
All right, let's do it.
There we go.
Oh wait, puppies.
And we are
Oh, I like that one.
back.
Oh, we're off air. Fuck you.
I gotta get some news.
All right, you guys. Thank you guys for listening. It's been an awesome. Thank you. Jeez, it's been an amazing show. It's been so much fun to hang out with all three of you guys again.
Yeah,
it's
this
a
has been great.
pleasure. And everyone that's been tuning in and tuning out of Facebook, thank you guys for listening all the way through. Check us out on Facebook. Of course, you guys are on Facebook, you're seeing us. But if you are just listening and you are wondering why we are talking about a stream, we stream. What's the past
Streamed?
tense?
I think it's still streamed.
No, I think it's Stream Strand.
We stream to
So past
Facebook.
tense, if you are streamed, then you are streaming,
We
then
stram.
you streamed.
It's not we stram to
No, I think it's
Facebook. So
I can't help
we're gonna
You
also
stripped.
we're gonna try to do YouTube as well one of these days. But right now we're just doing Facebook because it's easy. So if you're not seeing us on Facebook, you need to get us and like us on Facebook, and that's where you can check us out. Facebook. Also on Twitter.
Facebook.
You could be a live Twitter to the show. We're doing it live as we do the
Yeah,
show.
you can-
Brandon's over there
you can
clickety
live
clacking and doing his Twitter thing while you guys are listening, and while he's talking, he's going through it.
Me Xbox.
On the Tumblr, we're also doing Tumblr stuff, and on SoundCloud. If you guys have any questions or anything, you get us right through SoundCloud. You can actually comment right on the section of the audio where you want to ask a question.
You can-
Which is the best part. Also, like us.
Right at that moment of the show where Lo says something incoherent,
and
you
then
can
call
like
out.
put it right there and be
There
like,
you go.
What is he doing?
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
call him out live on the air.
Yeah, well,
Mhm.
you guys don't have the balls right now, so it's all good.
he does. Brandon has the big balls.
He's got the
Oh
big
yeah,
old
that's been
balls.
established
It
already.
has been established.
Yeah, I
That's
agree.
right.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. If you like our content, please give us 5 stars on iTunes. It takes a couple moments. If you, well, actually, it's one moment, but it's not a couple of them because that's like a moment could be a long time, but like, just
All right,
let's say
you're
one
wasting
moment.
multiple moments describing moments.
Like us on iTunes and give us a description of, or not a description. Give us a little whatchamacallit.
Yeah,
The who's he
5
what's it?
stars.
5 stars and then a little.
Whatchamacallit.
Say I like this and this about emergency exit, or say fuck Nick and Brent.
Yeah,
This
or
concept
even
is-
what you don't like. Let us know.
Levin, thank you for joining us once again.
Thank you, Lemon.
This is actually my favorite thing that's happened today.
Awesome.
Oh,
I know. I'm
nice.
having such a good time.
Work sucked.
Well, let's keep going.
No, I actually really love my job.
Oh, this
I-
is just that good then.
This is just so much
Oh,
fun.
all right.
It's
I
great
know.
times.
Would you
It's
would
great
you
times.
say this is 5 stars?
This is 6.
This is 6 out of 5.
This is 6 stars.
Oh my goodness, I can't.
6 out of 5.
All right.
Damn, I
Anyways,
that.
Brandon,
Yes.
anything to plug? Anything? Thanks for being. He's our new producer, by the way.
Yes.
Oh,
He's our
This
producer.
little guy down in the corner
Not
here.
only is he
That's
our
me
producer,
right here.
he is,
Hey, guys.
he is a co-host of the show now, and he's going
He
to be
did
with
the
us.
he did the blue beam.
He did
Yeah.
Project Blue.
Project
Beam.
He brought us the flirter
I think he caught the
I
bug
did.
after that.
and the
He said,
halurter.
he said, "I'm ready to do this kind of shit," and he's getting ready to see more of this homeboy. So,
Yeah.
for hey, Nick, what are you doing this weekend? What's going on?
Friday night I'm playing at Teller's on
Oh,
6th.
that's right. In Austin, y'all, with the
Finally!
selfless lover,
With the selfless lover.
with the
lover.
selfish lovers.
Friday night at Teller's. Finally an Austin show. And then
Great venue, by the way.
Saturday
Great
I'm with,
venue.
I'm with TJ. I don't remember where. I
The
can look it
Teach.
up
He's
later. I'm
going to be with
the
Teach somewhere.
Me and the Hash Brown and Postman Polly, who will be popping up on the show soon, will
Hey.
be with the Teach.
If you Postman Polly, you're gonna hear him next week. Okay, so if you guys want a sticker, I will have stickers next week.
Yeah, we got brand new stickers.
If you do not
If you
do
don't
not
wanna
want one, then don't send me a message. But if you do want one,
what?
send me something.
Wait,
How about send a message regardless of sticker wanting?
Yeah.
If you don't want a sticker, then
want
make
Send
a
us a
message,
message saying
then
you
make a
don't
me-
want one.
We
We're
want a
sending-
new sticker
we're
though.
sending everyone a sticker.
or make it about something else. You know?
Yeah.
Everyone should get a sticker.
And wherever you see,
Right, everyone should get. But if you, for some reason, adamantly don't want a sticker, then write us a message
Yeah,
about
let us know if you don't want a sticker.
wherever
Yeah,
you
no,
see
something
an emergency
else.
exit sign,
how
grab
cats
your
licking their
Sharpie
balls
and write
offends you.
podcast.
Yes.
What'd you say?
So if they don't want a sticker, they can send us a message about how cats licking their balls offends them.
Well, they can go send it.
You know?
Man. Jesus.
Cats. Well, is he neutered?
Did you hear what I was saying about writing a podcast under
Yes.
emergency exit signs?
Hey guys,
That's what
I think
I feel like one should do.
I think Elise, follower on Facebook, might want a
Mhm.
sticker.
Oh, I know she
Yeah,
wants to do it.
Elise!
Yeah.
We gotta
I
start.
love
That's
sticker.
Coach right there.
I have a
Whenever we
great-
talk about Coach, that's the least.
Friend,
Send
Elise.
your information and your $20 donation. I'm just
And you'll get a sticker.
I'm
Yay!
yeah, there you go.
It's just to
does-
cover postage.
It does not have to be $20. We will send it out for free. We will ask
Plus
money later.
postage.
It's a long con, so we will ask money later. All right, so thank you guys for listening. Next week on this show, we're going to talk about how Topo Chico is actually poisoning the youth of America on Emergency Exit next week. So for Lemon,
Really?
for Brandon, and for Nick Ryder, I am Los.
That's right.
That's right.
All right, that's it. Off the air. All right, you guys. Thank
And
you
no
guys
news.
for
We couldn't
listening.
have talked about Alex Jones for a while and all the shit he
Oh,
did
well,
with that
you
guy.
could have said something.
I figured
But
you
there's
do.
not much to say, dude. We should have said something.
He's a
God
fucking
damn it.
train wreck, and his.
Damn it! I
Whole
could have said a
world is
whole
falling
bunch of
apart.
stuff about him, actually.
Did you see?
You want to record that? We can just post that.
Did you see the quote where he claims that he slept with 150 women by the time he was 15?
150
Really?
women by
Wait,
50?
let's talk about this. Can we not?
Sure.
He claims that
Oh, wait, we're still streaming.
he's been in fights.
What did Hope say?
Okay. Wait. I don't know what you're doing.
Oh, that's just the extra features music.
Oh.
So we were gonna say this is only exclusive for the Facebook users.
Oh,
right now.
yeah. This isn't going to be on the
Oh,
This won't be
on
on
the
our.
posting. This is just
I just stopped the stream.
Oh, you did stop the stream.
I can start it back up.
start it.
It's starting. Hang on. Wait. Or we can just record it and post it. You want to do that?